was, of course, midweek Premier League action. It returned the Premier League after the International and FA Cup break, and we had quite a lot to talk about actually. Some big games, so let's just jump straight into it. So we begin with Arsenal 2, Fulham 1. Goals from Miguel Merino, Bukayo Saka and Rodrigo Muniz. So Arsenal get a win over Fulham. Kind of rare nowadays. Fulham have been a bit of a bogey team for Arsenal in recent games. But of course this was the big return of Bukayo Saka, who has been out with injury for so long. He came off the bench in this one, did not start, but instantly scored a goal in the 73rd minute. I mean, it was a tap-in, but still. Getting a goal on his return, it was almost meant to be, I guess, and yeah. Arsenal will be very, very happy that Saka is back. Good for him to get some minutes under his belt because, of course, they do have Real Madrid next week on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not sure, but yeah, get him some minutes before then. We'll see if he starts their next game. I'm assuming they sort of want to get him minutes in before that Madrid game. So yeah, Saka's back, got on the score sheet, a win overall for Arsenal, another goal from Miguel Merino, although was heavily deflected, and another win for Arsenal. It wasn't a vintage display, it was a pretty boring game to be honest. Arsenal were pretty decent, the better side, but both teams didn't really cause too many problems. Gabriel Martinelli I thought was really good. Really good in this game. Fulham did get a goal at the end through Muniz, who missed an absolute sitter just before that, but the real big talking point around this game was in the 16th minute with Gabriel getting injured. A hamstring injury, and I believe is confirmed he is going to miss the rest of the season. That is an absolutely huge blow for Arsenal because Gabriel has been one of, if not their best player this season. We all know his partnership with Saliba at the back is absolutely superb. So to miss him now for the rest of the season, just before that Real Madrid clash, is really, really bad timing. Give your game in for him in this game, but yeah, I'm not sure what they're going to do now if he's going to start against Madrid, because I mean, I fear for Arsenal if they've got him. I mean, he's fine, but coming up against the likes of Mbappe, Vinicius and that is really not what they needed, and that is a big, big miss for Arsenal. So even though they've got Saka back, they're now missing one of their best defenders, so not ideal for Arsenal, but either way they got the win in this game over Fulham. Alright, next up we have Wolves 1, West Ham 0, goal from Jürgen Strand Larsen. So a clash at the bottom of the table, and Wolves pick up a win which moves them pretty much almost clear of relegation at this point. A big win, they celebrated it massively at the end. 1-0 win in this one. I mean, it was a pretty even game to be honest. And West Ham had some big chances. Thomas Soucek at the end had a really, really big chance which he missed. And West Ham were very unfortunate not to get anything from this, but Wolves held on and got the win. Strand Larsen with another goal. Again, it was a little bit deflected, but still managed to get the goal. Wolves get another win, and as I said, they're not, definitely out the gates yet. They still could go down, especially after what happened with one of the teams, which we'll get onto, who picked up a win in the relegation zone. But we'll look at the table later. But as you can see, Wolves are 9 points clear now. So yeah, I think couple more wins and they should be safe at this point. And West Ham, I mean, yeah, it was a decent performance. Ferguson missed a big chance. I mean, they just missed a bunch of big chances, really. I'm unlucky not to get anything. Next up, Nottingham Forest 1, Manchester United 0, goal from Anthony Elanga. So, Anthony Elanga haunts his old side, scoring the winning goal and the only goal against his former club, Manchester United. Forest with a big victory, and I mean, what a week it's been for them, getting to the FA Cup semi-final and then straight away now beating Man United to further boost their top four hopes. To be honest, they were a little bit fortunate. I thought United were by far the better side in this one. I mean, look at those stats, right? United dominated the game, but Forest were very effective, and it was a pretty much typical Forest win, right? Get a goal early on a counter-attack, unreal goal from Elanga, and then just hold out defensively, really solid. And to be fair, like while I mentioned United had lots of chances and were probably the better side, there wasn't like a huge ton of like clear-cut opportunities created by Man United. Forest defended pretty well, and I thought in the second half in particular, Forest defended really well. The only real big chance at the end for United was Harry Maguire's chance here, which was cleared off the line in the 97th minute, the last kick of the game, by Murillo. Absolutely huge from Murillo there, and that could be a decisive moment in the top four Champions League battle, because that went in 1-1 would have been a devastating blow, but Murillo cleared it off the line and Forest held on to another win, another clean sheet, and yeah, fantastic work by them. As for United, it's another loss, which is disappointing, but I think their performance was actually pretty good. It was one of their better performances actually under Amorim. Yeah, they didn't get the win, which is pretty disappointing from their perspective. But I think, for United, the league's pretty much done, so this is sort of what they're looking for, right? At this point, it's not really about the results, it's about the performances for United. And even though they didn't get the result, I think they can take some positives from the way they played in this game. And yeah, hopefully try and take that into the Europa League, where that's pretty much mainly where their season lies, because yeah, I mean, the Premier League is definitely a write-off at this point. Next up, Bournemouth 1, Ipswich Town 2, goals from Evan Nilsson, Nathan Broadhead and Liam Delap. A big shock here, with Ipswich pulling off a fantastic away victory against Bournemouth. And I mentioned Wolves thought they were pretty much going to be in the clear because they moved 12 points ahead of Ipswich as they played the game before Ipswich. But Ipswich, they had to win to keep the pressure on Wolves, and they did so, stunning Bournemouth away from home at 2-1. Now, I mean, they did ride their luck a little bit. Bournemouth had plenty of chances, but could not put them away. But Ipswich were really clinical, and they did really well. They did really well. It was a great performance. Broadhead's goal was nice. Liam Delap, I mean, just absolutely smashed it. I've said it a couple times now, this guy is maybe the best shot power I think I've ever seen. Definitely in the league. Absolutely levered it, but Ipswich defended well and survived to get the 3 points, which is absolutely huge. Not only just to keep the pressure on Wolves, but also just for the confidence in the club, and that belief instilled in them. And who knows, they're clearly going down, trying to, I guess, go down with a fight. Who knows, it's only 9 points. If they can win their next game, Wolves slip up suddenly at 6 points, and Ipswich are well and truly in with a fighting chance. Bournemouth though, this is a devastating blow. This was a game they really should be winning at home to a side like Ipswich if they want to be qualifying for Europe. And yeah, to lose a game like this is really, really poor from Bournemouth, and puts a big, big dent in their European aspirations at this point. Yeah, starting to slip away now, and I talked about it being a great week for Forest, but an awful week here for Bournemouth, who knocked out of the FA Cup and now losing at home to Ipswich, and their European hopes are falling apart. Another awful week was for Brighton, as it finished Brighton 0, Aston Villa 3. Goals from Marcus Rashford, Marcus Asensio and Daniel Marlon. Aston Villa running riot in Brighton with a huge second half display to win the game 3-0 in a big, big clash in the European race. And I mean, it's pretty crazy. All three summer signings, Marcus Rashford, Marco Asensio and Daniel Marlon on the score sheet. All three actually really well taken goals. Rashford's goal was very nice. The pass, I think it was Pau Torres, maybe. Someone played that pass. It might have been Rodgers. It was unreal to Rashford, and he put it away. Asensio, again, fantastic finish. Shout out to Watkins as well, who did very well to get out of the way of the shot. And Daniel Marlon as well. Really, really nice finish for his goal. All three January signings making an impact for Villa in this game. And yeah, Rashford and Asensio in particular have just been superb, and again showed their class in this one. Daniel Marlon as well, a nice one for him because he's maybe not had as much joy as the other two in a Villa shirt, but nice moment for him. And overall, I mean, Villa didn't deserve to win 3-0, but the second half performance was very, very good. Very, very good from Villa, and incredible counter-attacking play. All three goals came from counter-attacks, so they just picked them off on the counter-attack in the second half. First half, Brighton went slightly better maybe, but yeah, Villa, the second half counter-attack was superb, and as I mentioned, this is a big result in a race for Europe. I think Villa maybe might move ahead of Brighton. We'll have a look later, but really poor loss for Brighton at home to lose 3-0. I don't think they deserve to lose 3-0. It's a little bit harsh, but yeah, not good. Not good at all for Brighton. Next up, we have Manchester City 2, Leicester City 0. Goals from Jack Grealish and Omar Mamouche. A very, very comfortable win for Manchester City, who comfortably eased past Leicester in this one. I mean, City scored within 5 minutes and 2 minutes, and from that point on, it was really, really easy. I mean, look at this. Leicester literally didn't pose City a single threat. They had 2 shots the entire game. And City were in cruise control, didn't really have to get out of second gear to beat Leicester, which, I mean, it's not because City are a particularly great side, it's just because Leicester are so bad, but a good confidence booster for Man City, get the job done. Clean sheet. Grealish managed to get a goal again, a nice confidence booster for him. Also a nice moment for him, I think. It was his first league goal in a while, and it was like scored on the anniversary of like his younger brother's death or something. He mentioned, which was a nice moment for him. Omar Mamouche again on the score sheet after scoring in the FA Cup. And yeah, overall it was a very, very comfortable win for Manchester City against a very, very poor and very blunt Leicester City side. Next up, we have Newcastle 2, Brentford 1. Goals from Alexander Isak, Sandro Tonali and Brian Mbeumo. So, Newcastle's first game after the Carabao Cup win. win here. They had to fight for it. It was a pretty back and forth game, but in the end, Newcastle came out on top. Alexander Isak back on the score sheet again. A fantastic cross by Jacob Murphy for that goal. But Isak, to be fair, he should have earlier not scored but had an assist. He was in, and it was a simple pass to Barnes, but he tried to go around the keeper, and he's pretty good at that stuff. But yeah, he completely messed up, and Barnes was fuming. But there was an absolutely insane goal in this game by Sandro Tonali, who pretty much crossed the ball from the right hand side and it went in. To be fair, he admitted it was 80% a cross and 20% a shot. But yeah, that was pretty mad. There was a bunch of penalty decisions as well. Brentford can feel a little bit hard done by because Damsgaard was fouled twice by Bruno Guimaraes in the box, but both were not given pens. I actually think both arguably could have been pens, to be honest. So Brentford can be a little bit aggrieved that we didn't get those, as particularly the last one being the last kick of the game in the 90th minute. But Newcastle held on to the victory, a big victory in the race for Europe, with people like Man City and Forest winning. Newcastle had to make sure they won, and they did, so well done to them. And as I said, Brentford will be pretty annoyed that we didn't get those penalties, but I think overall were pretty decent, to be honest. It was a pretty even game. Next up, Southampton 1, Crystal Palace 1, goals from Paul Onuachu and Matthias Franca. Southampton so close in getting a win. Finally getting a win, and it would have been a win to take them past the Derby County points tally of the lowest in Prem history, but a 92nd minute goal by Franza dents their hopes. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely heartbreak for Southampton. They were actually pretty decent in this game for once. They defended really well. Defense has been a main issue for them, right? But defensively, they were pretty good in this game against obviously a Palace team who are in some great form. They played really, really well. They scored a nice goal too. The Fernandes cross was fantastic, and the Onuachu header was brilliant. Onuachu as well, shout out to him, because since Ivan Juric has come in, he's actually been pretty good, I can't lie. A real nuisance. And he's bagged a couple goals. Ramsdale made a couple good saves, and you're thinking, okay, this could be the day Southampton get a win. And then, yeah, laid on Franza. I mean, he's done absolutely nothing in a Palace shirt, and comes on and scores in the 92nd minute. I mean, that is brutal, absolutely brutal for Southampton. But yeah, Palace, really poor display, to be honest, but they managed to eventually get the equaliser. But yeah, Southampton, gosh, feels so bad for them. Next up, we have Liverpool 1, Everton 0, goal from Diogo Jota. So Liverpool win the Merseyside Derby to edge closer to the title. And yeah, I mean, it was a pretty decent Merseyside Derby, I thought. Particularly the first half was pretty entertaining, even if it was 0-0. And actually in the first half, Everton caused some real problems for Liverpool. I thought Everton were pretty decent and actually had some really big chances, right? They had the best chances of the half, had two big chances, and I mean, Beto had Van Dijk on absolute ice. I mean, I don't know what on earth was happening. It was a disallowed goal where it was like Van Dijk's controller disconnected. I don't know what on earth was up with him today in this game, but Bello was skinning him a couple times in that first half, which is pretty funny to see. But then the second half, credit to Liverpool, because they came out and just absolutely destroyed Everton. Started off really well and got a really nice goal through Diogo Jota. Now originally I did think it was offside, but technically by the law it's onside because Diaz was behind Tarkowski in an offside position, and Tarkowski, the ball goes into Diaz, but Diaz isn't trying to get the ball, and Tarkowski obviously sees Diaz and tries to clear it, but gives it to Yotto, who scores. But technically, because Diaz wasn't making an attempt to play the ball, it's onside. So yeah, really harsh there, but it is what it is. And yeah, Liverpool get the win from that point. Everton, I mentioned this first half, Everton had some decent chances, but second half, Liverpool defended well. Everton just offered absolutely nothing. They had one shot the entire second half. It was pretty bleak, but yeah, Liverpool get the job done in the Merseyside Derby and edge closer to that title. Right, and finally we had Chelsea 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0, a goal from Enzo Fernandez. So another derby to end off, and we come out on top Chelsea, as we always do versus Spurs. I mean, no matter how bad we play, no matter how good Spurs play, no matter the situation, there's one thing you can't guarantee in life, and that is a Chelsea win over Spurs. We get the job done. We weren't particularly amazing in this game. Both teams were pretty dismal. I mean, the quality in this game was quite woeful, if I'm being completely honest, but we get the win, and it was a big win with all of our European top 5, top 4 contenders winning. We had to win, and we got the win in the end. We were the better side, I thought, but we lacked a lot of quality in the final third. Yeah, the first half was pretty bad. As I said, both teams' quality in the final third was woeful, but we did create the better chances, and Enzo Fernandez came up with a goal. We started the second half really well and got that goal. Caicedo had a fantastic goal ruled out for offside, which was disappointing. Palmer's cross for Enzo's goal was really good. Palmer overall played pretty decent in this game. And then we managed to hold out. We got a bit lucky. Saw scored a goal, and I mean, Robert Sanchez, jeez, this guy, I mean, how many times is this guy gonna have a howler? He was so lucky that was a foul on Caicedo, but yeah, we get the win. I thought it was a bit weird how we completely parked the bus. I was a bit nervous because I was like, I don't know if this team is capable of actually shutting up shop and defending. Like, we need a second goal rather than keeping it at 1-0. But Spurs' attack was so bad that it didn't matter. We didn't defend particularly amazing, but Spurs' attack just couldn't do anything. They really couldn't do anything. It was a really, really poor display by Spurs. Yeah, really, really bad. But as a Chelsea fan, very happy we got the win in the end. 3 points, collect that, put it in the bag, and we'll take it. But Spurs, yeah, they'll be very, very annoyed and disappointed by the performance. Performance was abysmal. As I said, they created barely anything. I think they had one chance, which was from Son, where ball was cutting in and he was sort of stretching to get it. Besides that, they did absolutely nothing. And yeah, sort of like United, I know their season is over in the Prem, but you're looking for some performances to go into the Europa League, a bit of momentum, and that certainly wasn't it. That certainly was not it. Right, so let's have a quick look at the Premier League table then. So Liverpool are still top there, 12 points clear of Arsenal. The top 6 remains unchanged. Forest 3rd, Chelsea 4th, City 5th, Newcastle 6th, with all of them winning. Villa move ahead of Brighton into 7th, and then Brighton 8th, Fulham 9th, and Bournemouth 10th. United and Spurs remain in 13th and 14th position, and yeah, the bottom remains the same, with Ipswich 9 points away from safety. While we're here, because it's midweek, I'll do a little prediction for the Saturday games. Everton hosting Arsenal. I think this could be a bit of a poor draw, to be honest. I think this could be like a 0-0. Don't expect too many goals. goals in that one. Palace Brighton, a bit of a derby. It always ends 1-1, so I'm gonna say 1-1. Huge game. Wow, I did not know this. Ipswich versus Wolves. I mean, if Wolves win this, they'll go 12 points clear and pretty much relegate Ipswich and keep themselves up in the process. But if Ipswich win this, they'll be 6 points behind Wolves. So this is a huge 6-pointer at the bottom of the table. I think I'll end a draw. I think I'll end 1-1. West Ham Bournemouth. I'll go Bournemouth win 1-0. Villa Forest, another massive game in the European race. I'm gonna go Villa there. I think they'll win 2-1. Brentford hosting Chelsea. I'm not gonna lie, Brentford always cause us problems. They'll probably beat us 2-0. Fulham host Liverpool. We'll go, screw it, 4-0 Fulham. And then Tottenham host Southampton. I've got to do it. 1-0 Southampton. I've got to do it. It would be the most Spurs thing to do to lose that. And then we have a Manchester Derby. I'm going to say 1-1. And then Leicester, Newcastle. Should be 2-0 Newcastle. We've got some decent games coming up. But I want to quickly have a look as well at, before we go, some of the other midweek results. Because there were some cup competitions played and some really good stuff to talk about across Europe. So we had the Copa del Rey semi-finals. So second legs, Barcelona beat Atletico Madrid 1-0 away from home. Ferran Torres with the goal. Lamine Yamal with an unreal assist for that one, and Barcelona won 5-4 on aggregate to go to the Copa del Rey final. And in the other game, it was absolutely nuts. Real Madrid versus Real Sociedad ended 4-4. Real Madrid were winning 1-0 in the tie, but yeah, I mean, this was absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I mean, the last 10 minutes there was 4 goals. 4 goals. Sociedad's got a 93rd minute winner to send it to extra time, where Rudiger came up clutch to send them to the Copa del Rey final. I mean, absolutely crazy game there, but that does mean we have a El Clasico Copa del Rey final, which is going to be absolute fireworks. Barcelona versus Real Madrid. And it also does mean both teams are still in with a chance of winning the treble. It could be unreal because they're on different sides of the Champions League bracket, so they could actually face each other in the final of the Champions League and the Copa del Rey final, and it could go to the last day in the La Liga title race. So yeah, I'm excited for that final. There was also Coppa Italia first legs, where Bologna look pretty much set to go to the final. They beat Empoli 3-0 in the first leg, but Milan Inter is all to play for. That game ended 1-1. Hakan scored again. Love scoring against Milan, but there was a huge story in the DFB Pokal in Germany, because in their semi-final, it was Stuttgart versus Leipzig firstly, and Stuttgart won 3-1, so Stuttgart into the final. But in the other game, Arminia Bielefeld beat Bayer Leverkusen 2-1. And they're in the final, and Arminia Bielefeld are in the third division of Germany. And they're not even going to get promoted, most likely. They're in the third division of Germany, and they are in the final of the German Cup, and they've just beaten the holders of the DFB Pokal and the champions of Germany by Leverkusen, and they deserved it too as well. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, we could have a scenario, I don't know if this has ever happened, where we got Arminia Bielefeld versus Stuttgart in the final. If they win that, Arminia Bielefeld will be playing the Europa League next season as a third tier German side. I don't think that's ever happened in the history of football. A third division side qualifying for the Europa was also the Coupe de France in France, where there was almost maybe the biggest upset in the entire of this season. Dunkirk played PSG in the semi-final and they were 2-0 up inside 27 minutes. Dunkirk, I mean, these guys play, I think, 3rd division as well in France. No, they played 2nd division in France and they were 2-0 up inside 27 minutes. Thinking PSG have not lost to a French side this entire season. No way this is going to be the side to do it, but yeah, PSG fought back and won 4-2 in the end, and they keep their treble hopes alive for in the final versus Rennes. So yeah, that was. Oh yeah, actually I should also mention there was the Turkish Cup, where there was some fireworks. Fenerbahce versus Galatasaray in the semis, and Galatasaray won that. Oh, it wasn't semis, but yeah, there was 2 red cards. Osimhen got a brace. I mean, it was a classic clash there. But yeah, that was the midweek review. Hope you guys have enjoyed the